When I made my first Crusadia deck profile, I said it was one of the best decks of the format. Not only did it have a 2-card OTK, it also had the ability to make Naturia Beast with ease. You combine that with the Sky Striker engine, the deck was formidable. Unfortunately, the Forbidden List came around and destroyed the concept completely. Sky Striker was no longer an engine you can splash into every deck, therefore it made Crusadia a lot weaker. Fast forward to 2019, I think that Crusadia is a dark horse deck. Some new cards were introduced that gives Crusadia a late game and a mid game, but the deck can still make 2-card OTKs, as well as being able to make Naturia Beast even easier than before. I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, then go and destroy that subscribe button. But more importantly, go ahead and hit that notification bell because, well, we just too strong. Also want to give a special thanks to every single one of my Patreons. Without you guys, videos like this would not be possible. I also want to give a mad shout out to our newest Patreons. We're almost caught up, so I'm still doing 2 at a time. Koa Nujin and Sensei Popo. Welcome to the clan. Make sure you guys add yourself on Discord as well as message me or Jest so we can get you in the top dogs. Without further ado, I present to you the Crusades are here. This deck is still insanely good, and if you ask me, is a hidden contender inside of this meta. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so before we get into this deck profile, we gotta talk about the stats. I think Crusadia is one of the most powerful decks in a local or regional level setting. While it did lose a little bit of power, or a lot of power if you ask me, from the Sky Striker engine, some new cards did give it a huge bonus. It has a great time going against certain meta decks, but I'm not sure if I 100% trust it to go in a high level event like 12 plus rounds and be able to perform consistently. Nonetheless, I still do think that this is a very powerful deck, and for its price, it's definitely worth it. Let's talk about those monsters so you can get better acclimated to how the deck operates. Starting off with the monsters, we run 3 copies of Crusadia Maximus. Now, he is a really powerful card because all of the Crusadias have an ability that while you have a link arrow, you can special summon them to your side of the field to where that link arrow monster points to in defense position. They also tend to have some pretty other good side effects. What Maximus does is that you can target a Crusadia monster and it inflicts double the damage. He is often the time why you can go for so many OTKs and make quick games of your opponent. Next is 3 copies of Crusadia Draco. This is arguably the best Crusadia card in the deck, mainly because when he is summoned, you get to add a Crusadia card from your graveyard to your hand, effectively allowing you to do some really cool 2-card combos to get some loops. There's also some really good 3-card combos to make some easy link 4s. Following it up, we run 3 copies of Crusadia Leonis. This is the guy that allows your Crusadia monsters to get piercing damage, but more importantly, he is a level 3 Earth Beast monster, so he gives us easy access to Naturia Beast without Rescue Cat in this particular build, though I would play Rescue Cat in the side deck for when I know I'm going first against a spell-heavy deck. Next is 3 copies of Crusadia Arborea. Now, the reason why I like her a lot is because, first of all, she is a warrior monster, so she is the most accessible Crusadia monster. And while she does give your Crusadia cards a little bit protection when she's in the graveyard, I also like that in future tense she'll come up as a tuner. This card has so much potential that just goes untapped, and I think once we get more cards for this deck, possibly in the Savage Strike set, the deck will even be better than before. Next is 2 copies of Crusadia Reclusa. This is your destruction card, allowing you to destroy cards on your opponent's side of the field. It's pretty helpful. I decided to run a 3-3-3-2 because the Arborea was a reinforcement of the army target, and to be honest with you guys, I had 3 extra slots, so 1 went to Arborea, 1 went to Crusadia Power, and then the other 1 went to reinforcement of the army. But you guys can run hand traps if you want to. I'll be able to explain to you guys a little bit later why I don't run many hand traps. Next is 1 copy of World Legacy World Crown. This card is insane. It gives your Crusadia monsters attack. It allows you to provide disruption. I just thought that he was a little too good to give up, especially since he's searchable. Next is one copy of Elephun. This is all you need to make the Naturia Beast. You don't need rescue cats, but again, I probably would consider siding them if I am forced to go first. Now, we do play Mech Knights in this deck, and I love the Mech Knights in here because they give the deck a mid-game. We start off with 3 copies of Mech Knight Purple Nightfall. Purple Nightfall is insane. Not only can he special summon himself to where a Link monster points to, he can get rid of himself so you can continue off with your combo, special summoning other Crusadia monsters to your side of the field, as well as get you a free search. He is the most important Mech Knight monster in the deck. 2 copies of Mech Knight Indigo Eclipse. Now, another reason why I love the Mech Knights in this deck is because a lot of times you needed to kaiju your opponent in the past to be able to play Yu-Gi-Oh, to be able to get that extra damage. What Indigo Eclipse actually does is really sneaky. You summon him to where Equimax will point to, you poke for the damage with the Equimax, saying that he's really strong, and then you can move Indigo Eclipse to a zone where Equimax doesn't point to, and then you can attack with this card. He's really sneaky for the deck. He allows so much power plays, and he works really well with just monster zone manipulation. Lastly is just 1 copy of Mech Knight Blue Sky. I think that he's a pretty decent card, but he's really reliant on what the opponent does. So granted, this is a deck that likes to go second. It could go first, but I didn't want to rely all of my cards on going second. Nonetheless, he can search both Indigo Eclipse and your Purple Sky and get you some insane combos, as well as be link potential. Next, for the Kaijus, we run 2 copies of Thunder King, the Lightning Strike Kaiju. In this particular deck, you don't care about the Kaiju monster's attack. In actuality, the stronger the Kaiju, the harder it'll fall in this deck. And that's why I want to give my opponent a 3300 beater. Not only that, a lot of Thunder Dragon players will side or main Rivalry of the Warlords, and you can't get rid of their monster unless you give them a Thunder monster, which this card will provide. 2 copies of Jizukuru, the Star Destroying Kaiju. This is my machine guy, the guy I want to give to my opponent to give my opponent complete hell. That's it for the monsters. I think that I wouldn't change much about this particular deck. It has so much going for it. It allows so much synergy. The Mech Knight monsters play really well with the links. The Kaiju monsters play well, not only for disruption. Against the Sky Striker matchup, your opponent can't activate their spells and trap cards. And on top of that, your monsters will gain attack. So it's just so much fun to be able to play this deck and OTK your opponent with ease, or control the board if you have to. For the spells, we run 3 copies of Instant Fusion. This card is insane in this deck. Activating this not only gives you a monster to use, whether it's snatching your opponent's monster or disrupting those hand traps, you can also set it face down to allow your Mech Knight monsters to go through. And all you have to do is put a Link monster in the extra monster zone. 3 copies of Called by the Grave, because I don't like being hand trapped, but more importantly, it provides that disruption for my opponent. 2 copies of Twin Twisters. This is a card that is really powerful, especially in this deck, because if you go against back row heavy decks, you might be in a little trouble. You might need to Twin Twister that back row that they have to start putting pressure on the opponent. 1 copy of World Legacy Succession. I opted for this over Monster Reborn because it's searchable in this deck. Reinforcement of the Army is another extender allowing you to get Arborea. Essentially, you have 14 or 15 Crusadia monsters in your deck with this card. And then Crusadia Revival. I hate this card because it's such a brick, but it's so good for the OTK. You search it, you attack all your opponent's monsters, they gain 500, it's GG. But other than that, it's like a trash card that you need for the OTK. And then lastly is Crusadia Power. You can drop this card, in all honesty, if you ask me, for a Monster Reborn. You can drop it for so many other cards, but I like the Power because it's a Forbidden Lance, and that actually might come up sometimes. For the traps, I actually do play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. For the people that can't afford Infinite Impermanence, you don't really have to play Infinite Impermanence at all. You don't have to play hand traps at all. But there was a couple of reasons why I wanted to play it. In this particular deck, the only thing that I'm scared of going second is Rongo. I can Infinite Impermanence my way through the Rongo. So, like, if they try to do all that, no, Infinite Impermanence, stop all that BS. The next thing is that if I drew Infinite Impermanence, I can set it face down for my Mech Knights, and I can turn off my opponent's spell and trap cards when I am trying to OTK. It just has so much synergy with this deck. It was too good to ignore. And then lastly is 1 copy of Crusadia Vanguard. This card is insane. I think that every Crusadia build should play it because it tutors Crusadia monsters to your side of the field. That's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, we get a little bit, actually, before we get into the extra deck, I tested with the Sky Striker engine. That's 3 engage, 2 Widow Anchor, and a Hornet drones. This was like perfect for going second. It allowed the deck to be a little bit more of a going second deck, but I really struggled with finding 2 extra slots for Sky Strikers. I also played with Desires. I thought that Desires was really good in this deck, and then you banish your one of and you're like, oh, that's not that great. So it kind of forces you to play more of your one of field spell card, and if you don't add it, you can't really activate Desires without risking it. So it was like, but other than that, Desires was like golly in here. It was free cards. That's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, 1 copy of Boral Sword Dragon. This guy, oh man, he's not actually mandatory. You can play Boral Low Dragon for the people that can't afford Boral Sword. You can play any Link for it, but he provides another way to OTK if all else, like if shit hits the fan and you just have to start like doing, like spamming monsters out there, it's really easy to make Link 4s in this deck. So he provides an OTK even if your Equimax combo doesn't work out. Summon Sorceress is really important for the combo. 2 copies of Crusadia Equimax. This card, you only need 2, but it's really powerful. The ability to negate your opponent's monster's effect, they often forget about that. And also, all monsters that he points to can attack. So you point them to one of your opponent's monsters that I don't want you to attack, and they'll have a problem with that. Equimax is just really good. 1 copy of Crusadia, or I'm sorry, Mech Knight Morningstar. This is how you search your World Legacy Succession, or how you search your, what's that card? It is the World Legacy Monster. Your World Legacy World Crown, and it also, if you can make this card, you can make Summon Sorceress because he searches the World Legacy World Crown, you summon the crown, and you can make Summon Sorceress just off of that. Crusadia Spatha. Woo, this card is a lot better than I thought. It's insanely good. This is actually how you make your free Link 4 monster, whatever one you decide to play. He has monster manipulation. It's just really, really good. There's so many great combos with this card. And at first glance, it looks trash, but it's not. Only 1 copy of Crusadia Regulex. I actually find myself going to Regulex when I'm either A, going for game, or B, going for game, so I don't make it any other time. Sometimes I actually might need to search Vanguard or whatever, but it's like, I really haven't really missed 2, but you guys could play 2 because this is a 14 card extra deck. 1 copy of Recroticus, you need that for the Summon Sorceress. 3 copy of Crusadia Magus. I really wish that I could play more copies of this card because it's just so important. Being able to search free monsters is just great. Again, this is actually my 15th card. So far I'm running Link Kribo because you can turn your Thousand Eyes Restrict into it, but you guys won't see it on the side panel because it's not an official 15th card. I feel like you can run whatever for that slot. Millennium Eyes Restrict and Thousand Eyes Restrict. This is to absorb Thunder Dragon Colossus because I hate them, and this is to stop your opponent's hand traps. If you summon this under Magus, your opponent really can't do anything about that. You're gonna get a free search. And then Naturia Beast so I can lock out my opponent. Now that I'm done showing you guys, oh, I keep forgetting some options since this is a 14 card extra deck. Of course, Borlo Dragon, Trisbana is amazing for getting rid of your opponent's back row. The Nightmare package, as you guys can see, I didn't run any. I really didn't feel a need to because I'm going to be OTKing you anyways. If not, I really wanted to play Phoenix over anything else because it was free destruction. And then Unicorn second. And then Underclock Taker actually does have quite a bit of value because you can decrease your opponent's monster before you start going into your huge monsters, which is just insane. All of those I felt were really good options, but you got a 15th slot for, you know, just about anything you want. But now that we're done with the main deck and the extra deck, let me show you guys some insane combos. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on to the combo section. This little combo, you are either going to be able to hit for a ton of damage or game. If you combine a 3rd card, it's almost game every single time. But the only thing you need is, I mean, basically any 2 Crusadias. It doesn't matter. Even if you don't have the Draco, you're going to be able to search the Draco. So it's like, let's just say Arborea and Maximus. What you want to do is whatever Crusadia monster you start off first, that's going to be the important one. So if you draw Maximus or Leonidas, you probably want to summon those first. So what I'm going to do is normal summon through Crusadia Maximus and use it for a link summon into Crusadia Magus. And then special summon the Arborea to where the Magius points to. Now that's going to trigger Magius effect. We're going to use that to add the Crusadia Draco from our decks to our hand. And then we're going to use both of these monsters for a link summon into our Crusadia Regulex. Now you're going to special summon Crusadia Draco to your Regulex Regulax and trigger both of their effects, Crusadia Draco will always search the monster that you originally normal summoned, and Regulax can search the Crusadia Revival. You will then use both of those monsters for another link summon into Crusadia Equimax, and then special summon Crusadia Maximus to your side of the field and activate Revival. Revival and Maximus are going to target Equimax. He is going to be 3,800 attack, or doesn't this give him a 500 point bonus? Yeah, he's going to be 4,300 attack, does double damage, and can attack all of your opponent's monsters once each. Now, if you combine that with a Crusadia Leonis, he is going to be an insane amount of attack. He's going to be 5,300 attack, can attack all your opponent's monsters, inflicts piercing damage, and double the damage. So that's a really easy way to OTK your opponent. Your opponent always has to watch out for that 2 or 3 card combo. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so the next combo is going to be almost the exact same thing, but it's if you're going first. A lot of people struggle to know, like, what do I do with Crusadias if I go first? Obviously, you can't OTK your opponent, but there's actually just like a hidden combo inside of the deck that nobody pays too much attention to. You're going to normal summon your Crusadia monster, it really doesn't matter, and then use it for a link summon into Crusadia Magus. Next, you're going to follow up by special summoning your second Crusadia monster, triggering Magus effect to add Draco from your deck to your hand. Use both of those monsters for a link summon back into your Crusadia Regulax, and then special summon Crusadia Draco to your side of the field. So Draco is going to be chain link 1, adding the Crusadia monster that I didn't special summon to my hand, and then Regulax is going to be chain link 2, allowing me to add Crusadia Vanguard from my deck to my hand. Use both Regulax and Draco for another link summon into Crusadia Equimax, and then special summon the Crusadia Maximus to your side of the field. From there, you're actually going to use Crusadia Maximus for another link summon, right back on down to your Crusadia Magus, and then you're going to set through Crusadia Vanguard. On your opponent's turn, you're going to activate the Crusadia Vanguard, triggering the Maximus to special summon the Equimax. That's going to trigger your Magus effect again, and it's going to allow you to add from your deck to your hand another Crusadia monster. I think Draco isn't a bad option. In this particular sequence, you have a negation because you have a Crusadia monster pointing to your Equimax, as well as the ability to follow up with some plays next turn because I have a Crusadia Draco. For 2 cards, you got some pretty decent disruption, but depending on your other hand sequence, this might not be the best idea because there's so many other combos that you guys can do, like the one I'm going to show you now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 2-card, that's right, 2-card Naturia Beast, and the only thing you need is Crusadia Leonis and any other Crusadia monster. That's right, I'm just going to use Crusadia Maximus. This time around, instead of normal summoning the Maximus, we're going to normal summon the Leonis and use it for a link summon into our Crusadia Magus. Use the effect or the ability of Crusadia Maximus to spell summon itself to its side of the field, and then trigger your Magus to add Crusadia Draco from your deck to your hand. Use Maximus and Magus for another link summon into Reproticus, and then use Draco's effect to special summon himself to Reproticus points 2. Now that's going to allow you to add the Leonis back to your hand, and then Reproticus is going to make Crusadia Draco a dinosaur monster. You guys are already seeing what's going here. You're going to use these 2 monsters for a link summon into your Summon Sorceress, and then special summon Crusadia Leonis to where Summon Sorceress points to. Summon Sorceress targets Crusadia Leonis to spell summon Elephun, and you're gonna have a hella fun with Elephun making Naturia Beast with only 2 cards. Now for this particular combo sequence, let's say for example, you need a link 4 monster to your side of the field, and your opponent, I don't know, has Thunder Dragon Colossus, even though this combo technically wouldn't work because you couldn't search, but we're gonna say that, I don't know, you Infinite Impermanence, who cares? Look, so it's just a 2-card link 4 monster. What you're gonna need is just 2 Crusadia monsters. It really doesn't matter. I'm actually gonna pick, let me pick some of the worst ones. I'm gonna pick those 2. It does not matter. What you are going to do is normal summon your first Crusadia monster to your side of the field and use itself for a link into Crusadia Magus. I apologize if I'm saying Magus' name wrong. It looks like Magus, I don't know. Use your next Crusadia monster to special summon itself to where Magus points to, and then add Crusadia Draco from your deck to your hand. You see why you kind of have a problem, unless you already have the Draco in your hand. Use these 2 monsters for another link summon, and instead of special summoning Regulax, you're actually going to special summon Crusadia Spatha to your side of the field. From there, you can actually special summon Crusadia Draco and use its ability to recur the monster that you normal summoned from your graveyard graveyard to your hand. Use Spatha's effect to move Crusadia Draco over, and then you can special summon Crusadia Reclusa, or the monster that you normal summon to your side of the field. And hey, look, I have 3 monsters to either make the Boral Sword Dragon, because for some reason I didn't have Equimax to OTK. Now that I think about that, I really want to play that Boral Dragon because it just snatches the opponent's monsters. I don't know. 2 cards already makes the OTK. 3 cards, I could have been tripping. Maybe I'm just a part of the Boral Sword swag squad. Some players might say that the Mech Knight engine isn't really good inside of Crusadias, and they do have a point. The Mech Knight monsters are just extra Crusadias if you look at it that way, but I feel that you'd be doing an injustice to the Mech Knight monsters, mainly because not only do they punish your opponent for playing cards or having cards on the board, they're also big beater monsters that allow you to gain resources. In this particular sequence, I'm going to need a Mech Knight monster, Crusadia Maximus, and World Legacy Session, or any Mech Knight monster, or I'm sorry, any card that I can set my spell and trap card zone. Or I just need a little bit of help from my opponent having a card in the inopportune moment at the inopportune spot. Which I'm going to do is normal summon Maximus and then use it for a link summon into my Crusadia Magus, and then I'm going to set the card face down if need be to spell summon Mech Knight Purple Sky to my side of the field, or Purple Nightfall. That's going to trigger Magus effect, allowing me to add a Crusadia Draco, and then I'm going to use my Purple Nightfall banishing itself to add Indigo Eclipse. Now, depending on your hand sequence, there are so many scenarios that you guys could do. The World Legacy Session can come into play to special summon the monsters to your side of the field and then just start to pop off with your links. Or you guys could just special summon the Indigo Eclipse and then use both of these monsters for a link summon into your Crusadia Regulex. From there, you special summon Crusadia Draco to your side of the field and add the Maximus, as well as search your Crusadia Revival, and now you can use both of these monsters for a link summon into your Crusadia Equimax. Now, the best thing I like about this situation is that I can activate Crusadia Revival, and then I can special summon my Crusadia Maximus, but hypothetically, if I didn't search the Revival, if I had to search a card like the Trap card or Crusadia Power, just in case I had to play through some protections or had to gain a little bit more advantage through my cards, I could always still just activate my World Legacy Session, special summon my Indigo Eclipse, and if this was any other monster, I would be able to attack with my Equimax and then move this to a zone where Equimax doesn't point to and attack with my Indigo Eclipse. Following that, I'll also be able to get my Mech Knight Purple Nightfall back to my side of the field, which I could use to search other Mech Knight monsters. This deck is insane. It has combo potential, it has power, it has everything that you need to be a competitive deck. And on top of that, if you take out some of my expensive choices, it's really, really cheap. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to go ahead and give it a like, and if you didn't, let us know down below in the comment section what we could do to be better. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day like I am.